Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of 8x Pixel Expo 8 monthly webinar global webcast, the December series. So happening on every 8th of the month as we convene over a united cause, that is our love for diving and the ocean. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this post to win the collector's edition of your favorite scuba diver, Australasia, Ocean Planet, Diverholic 2122 digital diving magazine for free. So for today's session, we're very happy to have two gentlemen here with us, Adam Hanlon and Tom St. George. So Adam is an underwater photographer captivated with the challenge and beauty of the underwater world and is passionate about its conservation. He grew up in South Africa and learned to dive in the mid-1980s. Apart from his diving qualifications, he is the editor of Wet Pixel, the world's leading resource on all things underwater imaging. He also owns a successful dive school based near Lancaster, UK. So now I'll pass it on to Adam to introduce Tom and to moderate the session with him. The floor is yours, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you, Kushi, and thank you for that very kind introduction. I'm sure I don't deserve any of it. Thank you. I'm really happy to introduce Tom St. George today. Tom's a friend and also one of the people that has consistently produced imagery that inspires me over the years. I'm a great fan of the environments inside caves and cenotes, and Tom does such a beautiful job of captivating them. So we're very lucky to have him here with us today. So welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Adam. Really delighted to be here. Thank you for the kind words about my work.
It's certainly, you know, whenever I think of cenote photography and cave photography now, my first thoughts are some of those iconic images of yours, which I gather you have available to share with us. So come on then, get the pictures out.
All right.
Brilliant. Yeah,
here we go.
Got it. Yeah, fantastic.
So a little bit about me. I'm originally from the UK. I got pretty late start with diving. I immigrated to New Zealand when I was 30, just sneaked in to get the working visa, the working holiday visa. That first summer I was in New Zealand waiting for the visa and the job applications and stuff to be, for everything to be sorted out. And I tried scuba diving for the first time and I was hooked from the get-go. That summer, I think I did open water, advanced, rescue diver, wreck. In New Zealand or in Wellington, where I was, people are mainly diving for crayfish. So it's hunting for rock lobster. So it wasn't really about photography for me at that time. I was really into photography when I was younger. My dad was very into photography. I grew up around cameras and stuff. But it was only later on that that underwater and the photography thing kind of came together. And that was when I was traveling around Southeast Asia. So after about 10 years in New Zealand, I kind of got itchy feet again. I wanted to do more diving. So I ended up in Thailand. I did a trip to Palau, where I met my partner, Julia, and she dragged me to Borneo. We were in Mabul and Sipadan, and that was when I first started taking underwater photography. So there's a picture of me in skinniest I've ever been, working as a dive master in Borneo, living on rice and fish. Yeah. And a couple of my early pictures, which actually, when I dug them out, I thought they were going to be terrible. So this was at a Sony CyberShot point and shoot camera and a homemade video light. And actually, I mean, compositionally, it's not terrible. So I was really an amazing place for muck diving. So I was really into shooting like lots of macro stuff back then.
Have we got a connection issue? Tom, can you hear me? Hello, Tom. We lost you. You're on mute at the moment, Tom. Tom, you seem to be muted. Still muted, can't hear you.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
That's better. Got you. Fantastic. You're back. Good.
I'm back.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
You went off somewhere.
Yeah, it switched microphones on me. Screen share. Sorry.
No, we're good. I've got it. Yeah, we've got it. No, I can see your screen, so I think we're good.
Okay. Why can't I see my screen?
I'm looking at your wonderful picture of the Titanic diver in the entry of the cenote.
Damn, zoom. Resume share. Okay, right.
There we are. We've gone to. Oh, okay. Yeah, we scrolled on a few. There we are. So I think one of the things that fascinates me about cave photography, and I'm sorry, obviously we had our little technical glitch there, is this play between light and shadow, and you know, I think this is something, and I'm looking at the picture you got on screen now. I presume it's in El Pit in Mexico. Am I right, Tom?
Yes, that's right.
Iconic kind of venue, but there's this wonderful kind of play between the column of light coming through from the surface and the darkness in the cliffs around. I think this is this incredible, and I think maybe perhaps Mexico's a fairly unique place for it. But yeah, wonderful, yeah, powerful stuff.
We are incredibly lucky with how clear the water is here, obviously, to be able to pull off shots like this. This is one of the genres that I really enjoy the most, is this natural light, big scale natural light, kind of trying to capture the whole cenote. It doesn't always work. We're kind of pushing our camera settings quite hard with the ISO and kind of dragging the shutter and stuff, and maybe not having the apertures closed down as much as we would like. So it can be a little bit difficult technically. But when it comes off, you can get some really stunning images.
So can I get you to flip on? You've got, I think it's 3 slides. You've got a picture, the classic shaft of light picture from El Pit. We'll come back to that one.
This is actually Maravilla. This is
Maravilla. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I think maybe it's worth explaining to people who aren't aware of it. I mean, Tom's pictures do such a good job of illuminating the whole scene. But if you're actually in that cave, looking at that, how much of that can you actually see through the viewfinder, Tom? What are you actually looking at?
It's pretty much, I'm trying to actually, and this is one of the things I really like about shooting ambient light photography. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. Obviously, the human eye does much better than the cameras in registering these scenes, and I'm just trying to recreate that view, that experience that we have underwater, that you can see this stuff quite clearly, which is not necessarily true in the caves. In the caves, I'm trying to show us stuff that you wouldn't necessarily be able to see on a dive. But in the cenotes, it's very much trying to capture what we're seeing in front of us.
Yeah,
and it's harder than it sounds.
No, it's beautiful. And I think, you know, obviously this is the other thing is you're inside a cave, hovering neutrally buoyant, trying to use very slow shutter speeds. Really, to say, you said earlier, tough technical challenge, tough on equipment, but tough on you as a diver and a photographer as well. So yeah.
Well, I'm very lucky that I get to work with some excellent divers. So most of the people that I'm diving with are cave instructors or side mount instructors. They're very accomplished divers, which makes my job quite easy. We had the Wet Pixel workshop earlier this year, and obviously having Natalie was doing a lot of the modeling, and having someone that's able to hold a position and be still and look natural makes our life very, very much easier.
Yeah. That's perfect. Sorry, Tom, I got you to scroll forward. Can we go back to the Tannic shot?
Yeah. So this, I think, is still probably one of my favorite shots ever, just because of, we don't normally get these colors underwater, and it makes for such a striking image. Very low light situation. Obviously, shooting out of a cavern entrance. It's a kind of classic car wash shot, this entrance to Cenote car wash. But the Tannic water just takes it to a whole new level. It also, unfortunately, cuts out a lot of the light level. So this was, I think, ISO 6400. Really dragging the shutter, probably like 1/15th, 1/20th of a second, something like that. And aperture probably wide open as well.
Did the colors, did you turn around and look at that and think the colors, or did you actually know that the colors were going to be like that before you went in, or was this just serendipitous? Or
this was totally it was serendipitous, and also a little bit unfortunate. We didn't know. We had a plan to shoot. A friend of mine has just been sponsored by Senti, and he wanted some shots for Senti in his new dry suit. It'd been raining for days, and we went to car wash, and it was totally dark but completely red and awesome. So we got amazing photos. We didn't really get we got a couple of closer in ones where I could use strobes to light Mauro up that were really cool. So we didn't really get the photos that we went for, but boy, did we get some really nice photos.
Beautiful.
So very serendipitous.
And what what causes those colors, Tom? Why have you got those wonderful colors in the water?
When we get heavy rains during the rainy season, if they go on long enough, you have standing water in the jungle, and it just soaks up all the tannins from the leaf litter. So it's pretty much like your cup of tea. The same tannins that you would find in a cup of tea are in the leaves. And if they get to if that water gets to stand in the jungle long enough, it soaks up all the tannic acid. And then if we get more rain, it washes it into the cenote. So it usually only lasts you get one really good day where it's this deep orange, and then it kind of fades over kind of another couple of days as all that water gets washed out of the cenote. So we look for it every year now. We kind of pray that we get a solid week of rain. And everyone's like, is car wash red? Is car wash red? And everyone's on the waiting for it. Pretty cool.
The next picture, which I assume this is Angelita. Am I right? I mean, this again. I mean, I love these shots in Angelita. They've got this incredible otherworldly appeal. It's so
ethereal, right?
Yeah, very, very ethereal. It's just but anyway, can you explain to people what's going on here? How come there's the clouds are settled underwater? I don't understand this picture at all.
So Angelita is like a sinkhole, basically. It's a deep like column opening filled with water. This mound of rubble is actually the roof that's collapsed down, and trees and stuff that have fallen down. And all the leaves and trees and stuff that has fallen into the cenote has been decomposing in an anaerobic environment, and that produces this hydrogen sulfide gas. And then it comes up and it just reaches a layer where it kind of wants to sit with the buoyancy, and you get this cloud. And it's just fortunate that we have this island poking out of the middle of it, making for this really surreal, it looks like an underground river or an underground lake with an island, super cool. It's one of my favorite locations still, just because it's so different from all the other cenotes.
Am I right in thinking that this is a cavern dive, Tom, that you don't have to be a cave diver to dive in here? Is that right?
No, you don't have to be a cave diver. You do need to be with a cavern guide. But yes, it's open to you. You recommend that you be advanced. Obviously, it's a 30-meter dive. So advanced or deep specialty. You don't need to be a cave diver.
It's a beautiful image. I mean, you know, the capturing, it does give it this very much, I mean, Lost in Space, I don't know, all those kind of metaphors really spring to mind. And it's beautifully captured, Tom. I love the fact that, you know, even down to the way that you managed to capture the spread of the model's torch beam, you know, in that sort of very distinct V formation. I think it's lovely, 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 beautiful.
Thank you.
I know what's going to happen. we've talked about that one.
We talked about that one.
Yeah.
This
man.
is another one of my favorite. This is what cenote diving really is all about for me, is the light, the interplay of the light and the water and the rocks. So we've got all these elements here mixed. This photo just makes me want to go. I just want to go there now and go diving, you know. It's not like that every day. The cenotes each have their own moment. So different times of year, different times of day, you're going to get different light effects. And this is where my secret weapon, my partner Julia, who has been working as a cabin guide. Well, she was working as just doing cabin diving for about 5 years. Now she's a cave instructor. So she knows all of the cenotes like the back of her hand. So she knows when you're going to get the best light rays in this place, what time we need to get in the water, which really has been a secret weapon for me in capturing kind of images like this.
So I think, I mean, obviously beautiful image, and the sunbeams are spectacular. But this is local knowledge. This is the key here, isn't it? It's about being in the right place at the right time. And of course having the ability to shoot it, which is it's beautiful, Tom. It is beautiful.
This one as well I'm particularly proud of because it's balanced light, so there is some strobes lighting up our subjects, and I think this is one of my first like really successful introducing strobes into the mix, and very happy with this shot.
The foreground's beautifully lit, Tom.
This is another mixed light shot of another classic shot from Car Wash of the water lilies. Unfortunately now they've put police tape around them to keep people from swimming into them and kicking them and stuff, which makes it harder to get a nice shot, but this was back in the day without them being taped off. And again, this is, these red colors underwater as well are always very striking, the red and the green.
The cenotes are this beautiful natural environment too, and it's not just about caves and rocks. They are these incredible clear water sinkholes in the middle of the jungle. So there's all that stuff going on too. Beautiful, Tom. Let's skip on. Let's get underground. We could spend. I think we need to get you back, and we'll just do one on cenotes and one on caves, Tom. That would be a good option. We're getting we're going underground.
So this is my favorite picture that I've taken this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Absolutely stunning section of cave. I've tried to shoot, I've shot here before, but this time we really managed to nail it.
Did you?
Diver Christine Tamburi, who's a rising star at Den in the USA. Her mother booked me for a photo shoot for Christine to congratulate her on completing her cave certification. So it was a surprise for Christine. She didn't look very thrilled when I rocked up met them in the car park of the cenote. But she was super happy afterwards when she saw the pictures.
So this image has just done very well in the Wet Pixel Dive Photo Guide Masters competition, and rightly so. I wasn't a judge on it, but I was involved in it. And every time I look at this image, I see something else. The detail on it, Tom, is just phenomenal. And that really, for me, is what singles. I mean, it's beautifully lit, it's well exposed, it's beautifully composed, all that stuff. But for me, it's just the level of detail is just stunning. And like I say, I think that brilliant images or classic images, what they do is they draw you in, and each time you look at them, you see something different and something on your eye. And this image is one of those images that does it to me. I think it's beautiful. It's an amazing image. So yeah, fantastic.
I've recently gone back to shooting caves again with a fisheye, which is how I started shooting caves. I then got a little bit, with them bending the cave formations.
Yeah.
But being able to capture this wide scenes like this, you cannot do. A fisheye gives you that extra panoramic feel.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a fisheye shot. I have to say, I mean, it is, but it doesn't have that kind of really kind of curvy look to it.
Because we're not so close to the formations.
It's
not, when you start getting close to stuff, it
stops
really
bending.
exaggerates. Yeah.
Beautiful again.
So this photo did really well in the UN World Oceans Day. I was really happy that they included a cave photo. Although it's not the ocean, it is connected directly to the ocean, and any pollution, all that stuff just goes straight out to the reefs and straight out to the ocean. So we, as well as protecting the reefs, we need to protect the cenotes and the waterways as well. This is a little bit different. This is actually using off-camera strobes. So I have a strobe on the camera, and the diver is carrying 2 more strobes that get triggered remotely. This is another one where I'm trying to capture, the diver and kind of a set piece, like a really beautiful gallery in the cave, like these incredible formations.
Oh, they're wonderful, Tom. Beautiful. I mean, I think both this and the last one, the colors in this. I mean, I think that people tend to assume that there's going to be very, very monochromatic in caves, and it's not. There's quite a lot of color, albeit subtle color, but there is quite a lot of color. And I think this and the last one really show that. The saltwater where you've got the blue coming out, and then you've got you've got the colors of the strata of the rock. There is quite a lot, and I think that's one of the wonderful things about both these 2 images, is really shows those colors off. Really like. I mean, again, so give us an idea of how do you shoot a picture like this, Tom? What do you do? Because this is now dark.
This one is actually. I don't generally tend to stage photos. I tend to more shoot on the fly. So stuff like this, I have a diver, and I have someone behind them with the light, generally hiding behind them with the light. So there's some light coming towards the camera, but we're hiding it behind the diver. And then I'm using the strobes just very gently to kind of give some fill from the front. This one is a little bit different because I actually placed 3 video lights in this scene. So someone like Natalie, who stages all her photos, basically. She picks a spot, they go there, they spend the time setting up the lights. She knows exactly what she wants to get. I generally shoot more on the fly. But this location here is just so spectacular that I wanted to spend a little bit of time placing some lights around. So I have, you can see where the lights are hidden either side of the diver behind the formations. And there's another one, I think, off camera to the right of the image. And then I have the strobes on the camera providing fill.
Fantastic. Beautiful, Tom.
This one is also one of my favorite shots from this year. This was taken during Cave Camp, which is an event I'm involved in every year here in Tulum. Just this ceiling of stalactites, every time. And this is right at the entrance of the cave. So you drop down in the cave, and it is immediately jaw-droppingly beautiful.
Amazing.
And it just blows me away every time.
Yeah, lovely.
I also really like doing more kind of, I would think of them as like environmental portraits, more medium shots of the divers. People hire me to take photos of them cave diving. They want shots of the cave, but they also want shots, obviously, of themselves. And I really kind of like some of this medium close-up stuff. because you kind of feel like you're there with them, kind of pulls you into
Yeah,
the scene.
I mean, I think often having a diver in the scene makes it very relevant to a viewer, doesn't it? You know, the cave, to some extent, although they're very beautiful, it's about people too. So about people being in that environment. Yeah, absolutely.
I find pictures of cenotes and caves rarely work without a diver. It's very hard to pull off. Very hard to pull off. It gives you that sense of scale. It gives it that context. You wouldn't really know it's underwater unless there was someone.
No. Yeah, unless you
there was a diver there.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Some more kind of on the fly shots. So this is someone coming out through a restriction. I kind of like the ethereal. It almost has a painterly feel to it, this one. A little bit from my usual style.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, the cave does a lot of the heavy lifting for me. You know, you find a spot with super decorations like this. It's hard to go wrong. I also sorry. How
do you compose, Tom? Because obviously you can't actually see that. I mean, you're basically looking at darkness. And obviously, if you have a video light in the shot, you can see the video light. But with strobes, you've not got any light. So how do you compose these shots? And obviously, particularly putting the diver into the composition, but even just getting the formations where you want them to be. How do you go about doing that then?
It's a little bit of visualization. So I'm generally swimming ahead of my model, and they're following me. And the lighting, have a lighting diver, safety diver behind them, following them. And they kind of follow me at a distance. And when I stop, they stop. I just turn around. I use my primary light. I'm trying to visualize what it's going to look like, and then test. I just need to take some test shots really to see. And sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it works even better than you hoped. So this was a little bit like I was saying. It's different shooting in the cenotes than the caves for me. With the cenotes, it's very much what you see is what you get. And in the caves, you really don't know until you've taken that picture and you're reviewing it on the viewfinder when you're using strobes. You really don't know. Yeah,
you shoot and see what you got afterward. yeah.
Well, I mean, you have an idea. You kind of trying to visualize what it's going to look like, and sometimes it totally doesn't come out as you hoped, and sometimes it comes out way better than you like. You look at the back and you get really excited, and then you take 20 more shots there, you know?
Yeah.
I really also like, we have leading lines, obviously, in the caves a lot. We have frame within a frame is kind of a given, shooting in tunnels and restrictions and stuff. So there's a lot of things that you can get to play with. Like here, we have the frame in the frame, something in the foreground. We have some textured stuff.
Beautiful texture, yeah, it is. And again, colors, lovely.
Yeah. So colors is something I've struggled with a lot with cave photos. Everyone, when they start shooting cave stuff, their photos are green.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to get the colors right.
Yeah. No, it's and I mean it's beautiful. I mean the colors in the rock and everything. I mean I think it's subtle, but it's beautiful. Yeah.
I like this one just because there's like a heart shape. I feel with the opening here, and it's kind of like a funky bit of cave for sure.
I think it's beautifully lit too, Tom. That sort of slight backlighting that's going on the formation on the viewer's left is fantastic too.
Yeah. So with cave photos, and every one, you know, we come from the shooting in the ocean. We're used to front lighting, and we have the ambient light is kind of there, is a kind of a given. In the cave, we kind of have to provide that ambient light. We have to provide that backlight. Otherwise, you're going to get very flat photos.
In many ways, it's a bit like shooting in a studio. You know, you're setting your lighting up to suit the scene or the subject. Yeah, lovely.
So I think let's go back to some of the cenote ones. This was a bit of an experiment. So as you'll have seen from my cave photos, I often use backlighting on my divers in the caves. And shooting in the pit, often I'll take the video light in case we lose the sun. Because when you lose the sun at the pit, it can get quite tricky to get decent shots. And here we figured, like, we've got the light rays. This is in winter, so the light rays don't go down to the bottom, but they come and hit the wall at quite an oblique angle. But we figured, why not try mixing the two? And I think it was actually, I think it actually works quite well.
Very dynamic. Yeah, it's lovely, lovely. Tom, sadly we're running out of time, so let's. Do you want to scroll through to the end?
That was it. We got to the end of the cave shots.
Okay, fantastic. So I always put my guests on the spot, and ask you if you could scroll back to your younger self and say, I'm going to give myself one bit of advice, in photographic advice. Well, I mean, in terms of being a master of underwater photography, what would that be? You're only allowed one.
I think give yourself the opportunity to shoot in the same location, to really get to know your subject. It's the same with macro. It's the same with shooting big. You know, if you're shooting sharks, if you understand the behavior of the sharks, it makes your life so much easier shooting them. If you understand how the light works with the water in the cenotes, you know, that takes practice. You know, you need to do 100 dives and then you'll start getting good shots.
That's great advice, Tom. I think that's very relevant. Now I happen to know Tom's available for portraiture and for shoots in Mexico. So if you're visiting, look Tom up. What's your website address, Tom?
TomSt.George.com.
And it's all one word, isn't it?
Yeah.
So TomStGeorge.com. So
I also do private workshops and obviously group workshops as well with Wet Pixel.
We have so we're running a couple of workshops with Tom in May next year, April May next year, and we still have a couple of spaces, so if you're interested, come and learn from the master. That would be great. So thank you so much, Tom. I'm sorry we had to rush. I could have spent all 30 minutes on pretty much each of those photos. They're so beautiful, and they capture the underwater environment so in such a wonderful creative way. So thank you so much. Sadly time has run out, but all the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care, Tom.
Take care.
Ciao.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm back.
Hi,
so I just want to close out the session. I just want to say thank you both of you for such an interesting session. I was really pulled in with the whole presentation, and images were really inspiring. And I really hope that the borders open up soon. And I look forward to meeting you both at the Singapore Ocean Week 8X show in June 2022. And for our viewers, if you have any questions for them, feel free to drop them on our Facebook page and we'll try our best to answer them. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this post to win the digital collector's edition of your favorite scuba diver, Australasia and Ocean Planet, the Diverholic issue of 21-22 for free. Stay tuned for our next session happening shortly, Pixel101, photographer and videographer of the month, with Adam Hanlon once again and William Tan. So thank you and see you soon. Bye guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Gushi. Bye. Thanks, Tom. Bye.